Okay. Hi, Amy. Can you hear me well?
I can, yes.
So, welcome everybody and advance happy Mother's Day to all. Thank you again for tuning with us today on What About Your Story Saturdays, brought to you by my forthcoming book, Lion at Heart, Discovering Courage and Greatness Within. It is a book on personal, spiritual, and leadership growth. And it is coming out next month. Yes, June 30. That's a Tuesday, you guys. And I will be sending out some invitations to all of you. And of course, I will be announcing the exact time of the Zoom book launch party very, very soon. So stay tuned, you guys. Why don't you just text the word invite down the comments below. So if you wish to join, and I will be glad to send you the invitation. And it will be a lot of fun, you guys, because we will have three amazing guests, and it's still a secret. And we will have virtual games to win exciting door prizes. And of course, we will be raising our wine glasses to celebrate that very day. So I am extremely excited because I have literally poured my heart, poured my all into this book. So, yes, you will know Kai Hay's heart and soul. And the reason why I wrote this book is to encourage everyone to ask God to grant us a courageous heart and help us find that inner strength within us so that we can potentially inspire and help others see the light. Guys, the world is wounded. Therefore, we are all called to be shepherds, shepherds to help the world become a better place. Perhaps today, my special guest and I will be able to inspire, give hope, and put a smile on your faces. All those of you who are experiencing down moments, especially with our current world crisis, right? Our goal is to simply send a loving message and let everyone knows who are here right now that as we both reach success in our lives, we too continue to face obstacles along the way. It never ends. We are humans, and it is a part of our humanity. My book is dedicated to all individuals who are deeply hurt and found themselves stuck into darkness. But hush, understand that nobody stays in darkness unless you decide not to do with it, right? There is light the next morning. There is a way out. All we need is to not harden our hearts and be willing to reach out to others. So, this is now our seventh segment of What About Your Story Saturdays, and I couldn't be proud and excited to present to you my dear friend and business mentor who achieved several successes in her life journey. She is loved, followed, and admired by many. However, she has this gracious way of staying grounded and very much approachable. I was totally wowed by her the first time I've met her 3 years ago. So I made a decision to follow her leadership because I admire her brains, her composure, her profoundness, but most of all, her genuine friendship. A happy wife and mother, she is also an environmentalist, wellness investor, Lyme disease advocate, and a successful global business owner. So, brothers and sisters, please help me welcome this beautiful woman I'm blessed to know, Miss Amy Holmwood. Welcome, welcome, Amy.
Thank you, Kai. What a beautiful introduction. Wow. And just, I'm so inspired. I can't wait to read the book. I know
Of course.
the real Kai Hayes, and just the authenticity of your message is so beautiful and so important right now. So thank you for everything you're doing to help lift people up, because that's what we all need right now. So thank you.
Absolutely.
I need it. We all need it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, are you ready to inspire our audience today?
I am ready. I am so ready.
First, thank you very much again for saying yes to this invitation. I am extremely honored to have you today because our audience will not only get to know you more, but they get to spend time with you today for about 20-25 minutes. So, first question, tell us who Amy Holmwood is.
Amy Holmwood is a person that grew up in, I think, a little bit of a damaged family. I just put it right out there. When you asked me to look at your book, and look at the chapters, I was really, I could have talked a little bit about each one of the chapters, and I think everyone's going to be able to resonate with the message that you're sharing, because we all have had our challenges. And my parents divorced when I was 6, and my parents were amazing, and both of them are unfortunately have passed away. But I grew up in a really loving family, very positive. But my parents weren't together, so we had to bounce back and forth between our parents, my parents, and that caused me to grow up, I think, at an early age. So the one thing that I really do want to talk a little bit about today is just keeping kind of that childlike wonder that is so important as you get older. And it has so much to do with being comfortable and feeling safe. In the world we live in today, I think a lot of us are living in a lot of fear. And so I grew up feeling very scared a lot because I was alone a lot. My parents weren't together all the time, and my parents both had to work. So I'm one of those kids that was home without a parent at home. And so Amy Holmwood is someone that had to grow up at an early age and had to kind of take care of things. I had 3 brothers. And unfortunately, I'll talk a little bit about some of the loss we've had there with the family, but just kind of had to deal deeply spiritual and very passionate about just continuing to grow and become better, to be able to help other people do the same thing. That's kind of where, what inspires me.
Wow, wonderful. It's really exciting to get to know you better in a deeper level because what we see with Amy Homewood is always the leader, always at the stage, teaching and guiding and mentorship, mentoring individuals. However, it's good to know the personal side of it. Amy Homewood, was summoned to be independent at a very early stage because you were growing up alone, right? And you have no choice but to kind of like mentor yourself. And so that independency, so that you would like to stay where you are, that childness in you, and it's fun, we have to stay always think like a child as well, not in a way like think like a child, but when we have the moment to enjoy our life and just be blissful like children, innocent like children. And that is wonderful to kind of like attain equilibrium and balance in life. You can't just always be serious business, things like that. You've got to have fun and to kind of like ease a little bit, relax a little bit. So that's wonderful to hear about your personal side of the story. And that's where I'm going to want to ask you my second question. We picked the topic walk through darkness. I was actually delighted that you picked this topic, Amy, because knowing you, what people see about you, what they see about you right now as a successful entrepreneur, global entrepreneur, traveling all over the world. And some people may think that you are superhuman, that you are always motivated, always happy, never a down moment. And for us, that is not the case, right? We always have to pick up the pieces because, like humans, we get hurt. We face struggles, hardships in life, afflictions, whatever, difficulties in life. So tell us, how did you walk through darkness, and give us some guidance on how you managed to get back on your feet.
Well, again, being alone a lot as a child, being scared. Honestly, I was sick. I was a severe asthmatic. Also, so when you can't breathe, and I really feel for people that have had COVID-19 because it is just terrifying to not be able to breathe. So I had that sort of anxiety related breathing, challenges as a kid. And then not always being with people. So it was pretty scary. That was kind of something that I had to learn how to just get myself calmed down, and I think a lot of us go throughout our life times of anxiety, right? Times where you just feel like you're not in control. And I think that that having to overcome those fears if you're alone and you don't have somebody else that's there always there. My parents, listen, they were incredible. They always said, we love you. You're amazing. You can do anything. I mean, it was always very positive. And my parents loved each other, even though they weren't, they didn't stay together. So we always felt like secure that we were loved, but we were alone a lot, So, getting to a place where you just sort of can count on yourself. And again, that's why I talk about like keeping that childlike sense of adventure in your life, because as a child, I didn't experience a lot of that, Kai. So when you talk about like the dark side, I didn't experience feeling like a kid because I had to take care of stuff a lot myself. I had to, I had to cook, I had to clean, I had to make sure that, things were good, and I wanted them to be good. So I made sure that I was as good as it could be for me and for my brothers. So, then we got to a place where we kind of, got through high school and everything worked out. Everybody was still alive. We were all okay. I mean, listen, there was a lot of craziness and insanity going on because there were different people and, very social, my parents, both on both sides. And then we had a terrible tragedy in my family. Absolutely horrible. And I was always waiting for a shoe to drop, which is one of those things where you're just kind of like, you just feel like something could go wrong because you can't control everything. And I really can feel for people that are in this scenario where you just feel like a shoe can drop. Well, one of my brothers, I was the third child, my brother right above me, second oldest in the family, had a motorcycle accident. And I was 19, he was 21, and he died. And that was the first time in my life where it was like, this is serious. Life is not to be taken for granted, ever. And so at 19 years old, I was, lost my best friend, who was the one person that took care, that we looked like twins. We were the two blondes, and then we had the brown hair and brown eye people. And he was gone. And it was like, and I just remember, I got on a train because I was in college and I wasn't home, and I got on a train because that's how I got back to Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia. And I sat next to a priest. I was sitting on the train, the Amtrak, and a priest was seated next to me. And I just started to sob. And he just put his hand out, put his hand on my hand. And he said, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I don't know what you're going through, but you're going to be okay. And it was just like, I knew I was going to be okay. And the reason I knew I was going to be okay was because I had been saved when I was 16 years old. I became a Christian and I was a believer. Amen. And that was a really big turning point in my life, I have to tell you, because prior to that, I was feeling very alone. As I'm saying to you, I'm trying to, I want you guys to understand, as a kid feeling alone and then finding Christ, and so that was just completely amazing. And so I knew that I was okay and that it was going to be okay because I had that comfort that I never had before. And I also had an experience with my brother, Billy, who passed away about 2 years before that, where he was saved. We were together and he accepted Christ into his life. I've never talked about this with you before or anything. So I'm so happy to be with you today to talk about this. But this was something that was a really important component for my whole life. The rest of my life was having that, that knowing that everything was going to be okay. And so that deep and dark time, there was still comfort there that he was with Jesus and he was in heaven, and I was still going to be okay here on earth without him here. And so this has kind of led in so many different directions, Kai, for me to have that awakening that, that life is not to be taken for 1 second for granted, because we can just be gone like that. And so from that moment on, I changed my life. I wasn't on a good path when I was 19, and everything just changed in my life. And I made a decision that I wasn't going to take my life for granted anymore. And I was really going to do everything I could to help other people, to have that knowing that they're going to be okay. You know what I mean? To be that resource. And I don't know if it's making any sense, but it just like, I took my life more seriously. And I went back to school and I did well in school. And I just said, you know what, Lord, use me up, because I was just feeling so much gratitude that I had that relationship with Christ, that I was going to, and I just wanted to make sure that, that I could share that with other people as well, because it's just, I'm not trying to, to witness to anybody today necessarily. Okay. I'm just saying, like, higher power is a good thing. Very, very good thing. And we welcome all family in my world. I welcome all religions, and I am so just happy to be someone who can just be a resource, when people are having hard times, because we're all going to go through them, you guys. And this has just been one after another. And these tragedies have continued in my life with other family members. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's been other things that have happened that have been horrible. I have another brother that died in a fire, okay, 15 years ago, with a family and everything. They survived, but he passed away. And it's like, how do you make sense of these things? How does it make sense, And I think we all have to make sense of these dark times to try to find meaning, to where's the meaning in this, and where are the gifts? Where are the gifts? Because everybody has darkness that is going to happen. And for us to be able to be there for others, this is why it happens, because we all need each other to support each other, And so being able to understand, being able to be a resource, being able to be somebody that knows what it feels like, to just lose people that you love like that, and for my mother, oh my gosh, and my dad, it's just like, you can't even, for people that have children. So it's just been, I always feel like we were like the Kennedys, because we had other, it continues. I'm not going to do the whole story today because I don't want everyone to feel so horrible, but I'm just saying, like, gosh, the gifts that are presented through the darkness, the gifts that are presented in the dark times are gifts that you could never have had if you didn't have those dark times, and those are the things that matter the most in life, is the awareness and the appreciation and the gratitude for just having what we have, and being able to be there for other people who have had those same challenges, to help lift them up, to know that it's really going to be okay, and you can still get on with your life and make the most of your life, and have it be so much more important than it would have been had you not had those tragedies, where you may have taken things for granted, because you never really knew what it was like to lose things, So.
Wow. Thank you, Amy, for being raw and real today. I didn't expect that, but I am so honored that you really opened up your heart today. And yes, I agree with you. We are not witnessing today. We actually, whatever faith you may have right now who's listening with us, it's just a matter of sharing our difficulties, our real life experiences that actually provided Amy to be able to help in return, to be able to comfort other people when the time is right, because we can never disregard our difficulties and hardships in life. It was actually the ones that truly shaped Amy's moving forward in her life. That was a beautiful story, Amy. And certainly it was difficult to lose loved ones, right? It's not easy. And so it actually brings a great message to everybody that even Amy Holmwood, one of the most motivated individual in our global business, one of the most powerful mentor. She also felt alone at times. She also experienced darkness in her life, but through those darkness that she found light ever again, and that she decided not to take life for granted. Because guys, if we do not have all those difficulties in life, then I believe we're going to be like living a mediocre life. I think those darkness, those experiences put meaning, real meaning into our life. The purpose. What is your purpose? Of course, during the darkness, it was difficult, right, Amy? But when you overcome those darkness, that's when you feel like the strength is solid and you are ready to roar. You find the lion in your heart, and that is ready to take charge and be able to lead others to do the same. So how many just did it take quite a lot of years to recover and to pick up the pieces back again on those difficulties that you have in life?
You know, really, it didn't. Honestly, like I just kept going, and I think you just keep going and you just keep doing and you just keep having faith. And you also keep sharpening the saw, because when you lose great people, if you feel, for me, I felt that I needed to do the work that they couldn't. And that was something that was very empowering for me because, a lot of responsibility, to be honest with you, but it's good. It's good. It's like when you know that there's important work that needs to be done, and maybe there were some people that were supposed to be able to do it and they couldn't, then that felt like I needed to do that. I needed to put the time in. I needed to be somebody who succeeded because of those losses, and so for my family. And it didn't feel bad. It didn't feel like the pressure was negative. It was like, yes, we are going to do this together, even though I wasn't with everybody I wanted to be with, including my father, who also passed away. Unfortunately, got cancer because of all this loss and horrible, just having that stress on your body of that pain, So it just felt like, gosh, there's so much work that needed to be done. And that success, which has been a driving force, I can't deny it. It's been something that has been very motivating for me. It was to just be able to help other people in the family too, to be somebody there that could be able to help others that maybe didn't have those people in their life anymore that they were counting on, And so it's almost like having, if you're lucky enough and you don't have all these tragedies, but you grow up with a beautiful family and you just have great leaders in your family and they're there for you, encouraging you on, what a gift if you have that. But, I don't know a lot of people in the world that have had it that easy. Maybe they've had things they didn't want to talk about that were things that were going on at home or whatever, but they had a coach or they had somebody that believed in them, And so, having someone believe in you is the most important thing in the world, to have somebody who believes in you. And I did have that, even if they weren't all there, I knew they believed in me. And so I just felt like, and I still do today, just to continue to just be somebody who can continue to help other people see the best in themselves, to be able to also just continue to do what I want to do that makes me happy, that makes me excited every day when I wake up, to be able to contribute and also just continue to compete too, that lion. I'm a Leo, so your book title is perfect.
Yes.
But it's like, it's just getting in there and, getting dirty and just being part of being alive, frankly, and just, continuing to make the world better and also be successful. Because I'll tell you, having resources is really helpful when you want to help other people. It's like, I feel so bad for people that don't put that as an important part of their goals, is being financially secure. I do believe that this is very empowering and also will help to make the world a better place, because you can help others that are in need. And this has been very motivating for me as well, because when I was a child, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have a lot of money. And so I wasn't going to let that stop me from not have, we weren't broke. We just didn't have any money. You know what I mean? At that time. It was like, we're not broke. We just don't have any money right now. So we never had that broke thing. It was never part of the mentality of my family, because we have had a lot of money in the past, and then money was lost. And then, so it was just sort of those cycles of business, with the depression and stuff like that. So anyway, it's, it's an honor to just be able to be an entrepreneur, to be in the United States, right? To have all the freedoms that we have, to be able to be
Absolutely.
in a capitalistic society where you put your time in and you really can reap those rewards and help other people do the same thing. So this is very exciting to me still. I'll be 59 in pretty soon. And it's like, I feel like I'm just getting started.
Oh, wow. What a powerful and meaningful story you have for us today, Amy. And remember, you guys, to have someone to have and to hold. Amy had her family, that's truly backing her up, believing in herself. That made her so strong, that made her move forward in life. And also, if you don't have anybody in life, know that, uh, like Amy said, cling on and find God, because God will always be the lamp to your feet. He will not leave you in perils alone. If you can find God, if you can reconnect with your faith, definitely, definitely, you'll see it, you'll feel it, that you will be invigorated. And so, wow, I could go on and on and on and ask you more questions, but Amy, our time is up. So the last thing that I want from you right now is to give some takeaway for our beautiful audience, wonderful audience who are listening to us. Would you give them some words of wisdom so that when they walk through and or move forward, they will have this even just little bit of strength to be able to fight tomorrow?
Yes. So the number one thing is to have faith. Is to have faith that things will turn around. And right now, with everything going on in the world, we all need to have faith. We all need to be able to believe in each other, in the goodness of each other, that it's just the core of humans, we're really good. And I know there's a lot of things that aren't so good right now. And people are judging, people are, when fear comes up, people become very judgmental. And I see a lot of this, and I really encourage people to stay away from that, to just sort of embrace everybody's feelings, because we all are coming from different perspectives, but to have faith that we really can get through things together. So if you are feeling alone, reach out and ask somebody for help. Don't feel like you're all alone on an island. If you're afraid, reach out to somebody. Reach out to, hopefully you're not alone. Whoever's watching this, hopefully you have somebody to reach out to, but don't be afraid to talk about your feelings. I think it's really important to express how you're feeling and just believe that things will get better, because they do. And movement, you guys, even, in the darkest times, get out and exercise. That was the one thing I did. I would get out and take a run. I'd be like, all right, I just need to get out, get that blood moving, and just breathe, meditation, exercise, get outside every day for an hour. Do some things for yourself. Don't just serve others, serve you too. Okay. So when you're having a hard time, just like, take care of yourself a little bit, get out, and always know that around the bend, when you turn that corner, you can decide which direction to go. Go into the light, choose the light, and you will always walk toward the light. That's what I can say.
I love it. I love it, Amy. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Definitely, they will take that to heart. And thank you for expressing your emotions today. That was powerful. And I know that many of us here are being moved right now. And thank you for that beautiful story. You are a true warrior in life, my true lion at heart. Thank you very much, Amy. And I hope to see you very, very soon. Okay. You stay safe. And I really thank you for the time that you have taken today to share your story with all of us.
Oh, it's my honor, Kai, and thank you for everything you're doing. You're just making the world a better place every minute that you share all your wisdom. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And until the next, love you all. Bye.